Nice. Let me just fix this for a second. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with... it has been raining a hell of a lot, Maya. And although we're not playing 4-color tonight, I hope you will like BANT. I guess it's 4-color with Leyline. So there you have it. We have a win-win situation. This is BANT Maverick. So this is a list that I've just kind of put together. I know there's a lot of talk about BANT Maverick in the Maverick Discord, which you should check out if you are a fan of Maverick. This deck is still utilizing Green Sun Zenith a lot, so I didn't want to cut down Green Sun Zenith. And there wasn't really a card in here that I wanted to cut even more, so I am playing with a 61 main deck, which I know is a little bit against the rules, but we'll see how it goes tonight. Nobody knows I'm a dog. You kind of just gave it away, but good morning to yourself as well. So how is this different to traditional Maverick? Well, of course, from the get-go in our mana base, we're playing 2 Tropical Islands and a Tundra. I was going to play 1 and 1, but I actually dropped a Misty Rainforest for the second Tundra. Sorry, for the second Trop, just to make sure we aren't wastelanded off green sources too early on. All 6 of our mana dorks do create blue, which is really nice, but I think we should be okay with our mana base as well if we're not hitting our mana dorks when we really want them, which should be nice. I've gone with Snow-Covered Plains as well because I think it's worth at least maybe showing that we might be playing Ice-Fang Coatl in the deck. I did think about it as kind of a removal spell number 5, but I think because we're not playing Astrolabes, we probably just don't have enough Snowlands to always have around enough to actually turn on Death Touch. So that was kind of the consideration for not playing Ice-Fang Coatl, and as well, it's not really a threat. It's not really the threat that Maverick wants, where you want to be beating down with your creature, and in this list without any sort of equipment, a 1-1 is always going to be a 1-1, so it's not going to be a bigger creature with sort of Fire and Ice. It's not going to be able to get bigger with Batterskull or Jide. So I didn't take it into consideration. So we have some pretty cool cards. So we have Hexdrinker. Hexdrinker has been really nice. There's a few decks that kind of rely on Sword to Plowshares to actually get rid of it, so getting it to 4 early on with a mix of birds or Gaea's Cradle is really nice. One thing that I do have to learn is using my mana effectively in my turn, because if I pass turn with any mana up, I really could have probably put it into Hexdrinker if it's on board, so we'll see how that goes. Hey, Hershini. The next card that I want to talk about is Dryad Militant, which a little bit of an odd one. It's kind of a dinky creature, but I think right now with a lot of the Snapcaster decks and also the Breach combo decks, Dryad Militant is just a really nice card, and probably arguably a little better against the new combo Breach deck than Gaddock Teeg is. I think they can pretty easily win through Gaddock Teeg, but Dryad Militant's definitely a lot harder. They really need to find some sort of bounce spell or removal spell for it. I believe it was Matt Soul that was playing a Dryad Militant first. This definitely isn't tech that I've come across. I did used to play it in D&T, but I think there's probably a lot less need to play it, but that's a different story. So Dryad Militant is there really as an early threat, and a great way to, disrupt our opponent's graveyard in the way that it hits, Goyf, Faithless Looting, the Breach deck, of course, Snapcaster Mage. There's a few things that are pretty good. So Dryad Militant should be pretty fun. I still want to play Gaddock Teeg, I still want to play Qasali Pridemage, I still want to play Scavenging Ooze, add Scryb Ranger. I think those 4 are pretty traditionally just set in the deck if you're playing Green Sun Zenith. They're great against a number of decks. They give you outs. They're silver bullets that are just great in this deck because you can use them through multiple ways. So Scryb Ranger you can use, of course, not just to block something like Delver, but with Mum you can protect from Marit Lage for ages. You can use Mum's ability twice, you can use Knight's ability twice, you can use a Mana Dork twice. You can save lands from Wasteland. You can even return a Savannah to your hand to play around Massacre, which has been done, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Scryb Ranger is really nice. And just to have a flyer as well in the air. This deck can sometimes just lose to an early aggressive start from an opponent with a lot of flyers. So having Scryb Ranger as sort of an out to that is kind of nice. Scavenging Ooze, it's okay against the graveyard decks. It is a little bit slow, but it does have that great ability of becoming a threat pretty early on, which is nice. Pro Blue also against Brazen Borrower, very true. That's yeah, didn't think about Brazen Borrower for a second there. Screws as well is just really nice against the Oko decks because if it does have counters on it like Hexdrinker, they become 3/3s with the counters still on them. So It's a little less effective from the Oko side, which is nice. And really in a late game for a creature-based deck against a creature-based deck, Scooze can just run away with the game because there's so much fodder in the graveyard that you can eat up. Collector Ouphe I'm running in the main deck just because it can give you free wins sometimes, a little bit like main deck Gaddock Teeg. We're of course not running a Stoneforge Mystic package, so I'm pretty happy to have the Collector Ouphe around. It stops Aether Vial, it stops LED, it stops Jide. It's just really solid in the decks where you want it, and in the decks where you don't want it, you don't usually see it, which is kind of nice. So that's Collector Ouphe, and then Questing Beast. I wasn't too sure if I really wanted the 4-drop in this deck, but I think because Oko makes a lot of creatures 3/3s, having Questing Beast as a 4/4 with Vigilance is just so good. And of course the ability just to get a hasty creature off Green Sun Zenith is really nice. Questing Beast has done a lot on this stream. A lot of really cool things, so it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes tonight in this deck. 4 Swords is pretty straightforward, 4 Knights is pretty straightforward, and 4 Green Suns. I was going to cut the Green Suns to 3, as I said before, but because we are playing quite a big amount of silver bullets, I'm pretty happy to keep that at 4. It also means that we have just a better chance of having a turn 2 3-drop, like Teferi, like Oko, like Knight, especially with Dryad Arbor in the deck, so it does act as Mana Dork number 1, which is nice. Yeah, I could cut the 4th Knight and play 60, but I think we'll go ahead with the 61. I've kind of set myself with this, so we'll see how it goes. Oko, of course, has been, a talking point against across a lot of metas and a lot of formats recently. It's still in Legacy. And I think you just, you have to have that chance to play it before it goes. I didn't get really a chance to play with Ren before it left. I'm not saying that Oko's banned. I don't think Oko is that... It's not... It's very annoying to play against, but there's no... I don't think I've played against a deck yet where Oko has been broken. It's just that that sub-game that it creates that's been pretty tough to deal with as a creature-based deck. But Oko's in the deck, which is really nice. The ability to just really create a little sub-game, attack from a different angle. Dan Neely is a really good green-white Maverick player, and he plays a lot of main deck Planeswalkers as of recent, which creates just a different angle for the deck to attack with, because usually Maverick has traditionally relied on their creature base to really deal damage, win games, and if you, get Terminus or Supreme Verdict, sometimes you do have that rough patch of trying to regain the board state and play more creatures. So that's an interesting one. Teferi in the main deck as well. Teferi's kind of cool because it means we can actually Green Suns at instant speed. Teferi just as a one-of, just because I wanted to try it out and see how it goes. I kind of wanted to play another blue card in the main deck just to sort of have a better understanding of how blue can be played in Maverick, and I think Teferi is actually pretty cool. The ability to bounce things as well is pretty nice, and it does stop Terminus, which is kind of cool. So that's going to be really interesting. To the board we have Leyline of the Void in the sideboard for Graveyard Hate, which I think now is just the best kind of Graveyard Hate, as it shuts off the whole graveyard as a resource for your opponent, whereas something like Surgical or Ferromacabre, it can hit key cards, but if that's all you have and you run out, your opponent can usually just get straight through it and start churning out some new hate from the graveyard. So having Leyline is nice. It doesn't have the kind of gotcha moment like Surgical or Ferromacabre, but it does if your opponent has sideboarded incorrectly for games 2. The one thing that I don't like about Leyline is that you can play around it. So your opponent can wait to actually use their graveyard as a resource by finding like a Wear Tear or a Corrosion Grip or a Bounce Spell, and then kind of go off, as they say. But I think Leyline's just the best right now, so gonna have some fun with that, hopefully. We have another Collector from the board. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. So we actually don't need this Collector Ouphe because we have it on the main deck. So that creates a sideboard, which maybe I want to just move an Oko to the board if I want the third one. This is interesting. While I think about that, Council's Judgment is pretty nice. I do really like having removal that is pretty open. It can take a True Name Nemesis, it can take an equipment piece, it can take a Planeswalker or a creature, which is nice. Yeah, second Oko would be nice. I was going to play an extra Blue Blast. But now I want to start thinking about some of the cards that I actually got for this to play with. And I might just have a quick think about that. Blue Blast is really there for things like Breach, Young Pyromancer, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Gamble, even the Pyroblasts themselves we can hit, which is really nice. Borrower in the side is pretty spice. I really like another Teferi, but we don't have one. Yeah, double blue is going to be interesting. It really depends on if the matchups where we want something for double blue, we're going to be hard to sort of create a board state with more than one mana dork. Hey, HG Butt. Very well, thank you. It does have 61 in the main. That's, what do I want to do here? Maybe I'm happy to even just move a Swords to the sideboard. I think because most of the creatures we're going to be dealing with are going to be done with Oko, I don't mind going down on a Swords. I feel like this package kind of allows us to maybe just have a Swords in the sideboard for some of the faster decks like Delver, which I don't mind. Very interesting one. Maybe Deafening Silence isn't too bad. Let's go like that. We do have a lot of combo hate, but I think this deck's pretty good against the fair decks, so I think I'm pretty happy with this, and we'll see how this goes. Meddling Mage is a really interesting one. Sadly, I don't have a copy of Meddling Mage, I don't believe. If I do... Oh, okay, you know what? Abyssbocchi? I probably just totally said your name wrong, but... We're going to go with Meddling Mage. I'm going to see how this plays. I kind of like Meddling Mage as well because it is a hate piece that also applies pressure. A little bit like Phyrexian Revoker. The awful thing is that I don't have the Chris Pecula art, but... Yeah, well, Jack's happy, I'm happy, we're all happy. Savine's Reclamation is a brilliant card that I've been really liking in these kind of grindy matchups. It's usually a 3-for-1, which is pretty crazy, and we can get back... cards like Oko, Teferi, another Reliquary. You can just get back a land if you wish as well. So for decks that deal with something like Karakas and you want Karakas back, you can get Reclamation, which is kind of nice. I haven't seen the 4-color Natural Order deck, but I did see a Rug one that Mark Kognick ran to, I believe, a top 8 of the Legacy Open, which was really cool. But that would be very cool to see. If you could link it, HG, but that would be very cool. Veil of Summer is an interesting one. I've been liking it less and less in Maverick, but I think I just want to keep it in the deck because it can give you some pretty nice outs, especially against things like him or Thoughtseize or Colligan's Command, and some of the combo decks that end in Tendrils. It's quite nice. It also allows you to just to play into counter magic and then hopefully blow them out with a Veil. Dovin's Veto's in here as well. I didn't want to play Flusterstorm because I like Dovin's Veto's ability to actually also counter Planeswalkers and things like equipment, which is nice. So we'll see how Veto goes. There's definitely consideration for Flusterstorm. There is one card that I missed, and it's Leovold. And I don't think I have one. We do. Okay, so I'm going to play Leovold. This is an interesting one. Because now I really want to fit Leo in the deck. Even though we don't have a black mana. No, let's just stay with BANT. We're staying with BANT. We're going into a league. This is gonna be it. I could cut a knife for Leo, but I'm gonna stick with BANT first and then go. Hey, we gotta start somewhere. I definitely started with shocks for a few decks. And it was nice just to start playing the deck. So very cool to see you getting into it. Let's use play points. We have BANT Maverick. We will join a league, we will play the match, and we'll see how this goes. Should hopefully be really fun. The color combination seems pretty cool. Oko's just pretty cool. Maybe cut one shock for Cradle. I like that you I like that it plays shocks and then it also has Cradle. Cradle's definitely one of those cards where when you get a Cradle, you kind of take a moment, because it is one of those cards where you just have to take a moment and just understand how good it is to own a Cradle. Very powerful card. Actually, Reed Duke said Cradle for him is the most powerful card in Legacy. This hand is interesting. So unless Collector Ouphe or Oko are really good in this matchup, this hand doesn't have too much of a plan. I could see us drawing into a Noble Hierarch or a Birds of Paradise is probably the best draw. But we have a hand where we can currently cast everything in our hand. If Collector Ouphe is dead, then that's going to be fine. It's just a 2/2. We are on the draw as well, so we do have a few things to do. I'm gonna keep this. I could mulligan aggressively for something like a Mana Dork start, but just a Island Pass is interesting. I would keep this and get punished. Wasteland, okay. So I could lead on Tundra and give away that we're on a Tundra deck, but I kind of just want to lead on a Forest and pass. Forest gives away the least amount of information. Tundra definitely looks like... Okay, so these two lands most likely to me give away that it's Miracles. Most Miracles lists are pretty basic heavy, so this Tundra is probably going to be pretty rough. And Collector Ouphe might be able to hit something like an Astrolabe if they're playing it. Miracles doesn't play Vistra, can't fetch Sanctuary. Maybe I'm just used to my budget Miracles that I lend out. So now I really need to consider what I want to hide and what I want to show. I think I'm happy just with Collector Ouphe going out. I could hold up Scryb Ranger, but I think I'd rather this run into something like a counterspell, because it most likely might not have an impact on this game if they're not some sort of Astrolabe deck. If it is Breach, then I'm going to be pretty pleased to have Collector Ouphe on the field, but you'd think with Breach they'd have at least a turn 1 play and maybe like a Ponder. So one little thing with Collector Ouphe is that we can't actually activate the food tokens that we get from Oko. And if we play Tireless Tracker, we can't activate those clues either. Swords, okay. So I mean, I guess they could have Spell Pierce up, but I could jam Oko here, I could jam Knight. I also have the option of just Mother of Runes and Canopy. I think jamming Oko is just the highest upside. So I'm going to go with Oko. And to be fair, if this gets a Force of Will, then at least, you know, that's a 2-for-1 from our opponent. It's gonna go, so let's create a food token and pass turn. Oko, the only out most likely from my opponent is something like a main deck Council's Judgment. So definitely pretty hard to deal with. This also stops my opponent doing something like Mentor, like and then something else, because we can just take the mentor with the food token. And there's Judgment. Okay. Swords. I think I'm pretty happy wastelanding my opponent off their Tundra while I have the chance of just them not getting extra usage out of it. And then just playing the Knight. There's also consideration to play the Mother of Runes. It might kind of force them to do something like Snapcaster into Swords to Plowshares. Hey, Steve, welcome. Hope you're well. I saw you're commenting on Goblin Lackey's Goblins deck before. Yeah, let's go Mum Pass. I really want to get Mum online. And holding up the mana here doesn't give away Scryb Ranger because we do have the food token as well. But it's a pretty nice play. Especially if it sticks around with the Mum. Being able to double tap is really nice. There's Swords. Okay. I have no comment. I don't really know goblins these days. But interesting. Always interesting, especially when you're playing a 61 card deck. Like maybe someone else right now. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, Dare to be a Donut. That's a great point. I think that this is... I think Oko is definitely the reason why people have been looking at BANT a lot more than of previous. I don't think a card like Flusterstorm or like Brazen Burrower has been the card that have got people sort of out testing BANT. Teferi's kind of nice. I don't mind just playing Teferi here. Gonna use that mana quickly. There we go. Fetch. Hopefully not just counterspell. That would be... Counterspell's always pretty lackluster of a feeling when you get something counterspelled, but if they're brainstorming in response, maybe they have to find Force of Will here. Which is kind of a nice spot, because I assume my opponent is playing some number of maybe Entreat or Terminus. So if this Teferi resolves, it's going to be pretty nice. This is interesting. I do have the ability... If my opponent is maybe relying on Snapcaster into Council's Judgment, I do actually have the ability of just ticking down Teferi on the food. I think I should draw off it as well. I think I should actually probably just return the food here. Oh, you don't have to? Oh, up to. Nice. Okay. That's really nice. Another Knight. Okay. Can definitely attack. And then I can replay the Snow-Covered Forest, but I don't think I really need to. I guess there's no reason not to here. Might act like we have like a main deck Veil of Summer or something. I think you definitely might as well, because it could give your opponent a bit of a Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. They don't have a second white source, which is pretty relevant right now. But yeah, very cool that it says return up to 1. Because the food's going to be great to apply pressure if we do draw into something like Oko. So now they get to draw it. They've already played a land for turn. Alright. Birds. Definitely tick up. That does stop their ability to counter stuff. So I could just jam Questing Beast here. If I pick up the forest and replay it. Or just play a knight. I think knight's fine. And then we can actually cast a birds as well. I like saving Questing Beast as well if we can have the luxury of also just having up Karakas. So I guess we might as well attack first, and then after combat we can untap it, return the forest, and then play the Birds of Paradise. Oh, Scryb Ranger is just so nice. Just a really cool card to play with. There's not really a card like it. One thing to note as well is that if my opponent doesn't have another basic plains, at least in the hand either, they might have to get a play another Tundra here, which we can Wasteland to take them off double white down the road. But you know, they need to draw into another white source now, or Teferi is going to be pretty nice. Unique cards are really cool. Always cool playing with them as well. I'm a big fan of people who, instead of just saying that a card isn't worth trying out, I do like people who just go after it and try out a card, and then for themselves come to a conclusion after actually playtesting that a card isn't worth it. So there's Flooded Strand, okay. Yeah, Questing Beast definitely has a lot to it. We've had some pretty nice times on the stream where it's been pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Alright. So opponent only has 2 cards. A fetch is kind of nice. Definitely play a land. I don't mind fetching for Trop. Cast Questing Beast. So we can use the Knight main phase and then untap it with Scryb Ranger, which I don't mind. So we can sack a Trop. Go find Wasteland. I don't mind Wasteland here because it turns off just hardcast Terminus. Attack for 11. And then just pass. Unfortunately, the Tundra means that they... Maybe the Tundra, I should have got rid of the Tundra, because this means that... I guess I couldn't have, yeah, I couldn't have done the Knight this turn as well, so it doesn't really matter. But if I had, oh, they did have it, wow. Can I do anything? No. And they also have swords on top. Brutal. Green Suns. Green Suns is interesting. I think I just want to jam Knight here. They are down to 1 card. We know that Swords to Plowshares is on top. So it's a case of, do we want to actually go for Green Suns otherwise? I think Knight's just best here, because maybe Green Suns can just get us the win with a Questing Beast later down the line. I could have gone for Gaddock Teeg if I was scared of Jace being the other card, but Narset's not the worst. A little bit rough, but Spell Pierce, rough. Karakas. So to be fair, we can still go Green Suns for Hexdrinker. And if they want to Spell Pierce, that they can. But if not, we can just put some mana into it. They do get to dig here, which is pretty rough. Ugh. Haha. Spell Piece in hand and Counterspell. Okay, but no Counterspell magic, which is kind of nice. Snow-covered plains. I think we just, even though the Jays can bounce it, I kind of like just putting in some, yeah, powering this up. It kind of makes Jace have to do it if they don't find something off their draw step. Which I don't mind. It really puts the Jace in a corner where if they don't draw into something here, because they have Counterspell and Spell Pierce in their hand, if they don't draw something here, they have to use Jace to either Brainstorm to maybe find a threat or bounce this to find a threat. Well, Teferi's pretty good. I still like Hexdrinker. And then if they counterspell this, I kind of like drawing a card here. Maybe I actually want to fetch first. Because I want to put something like Questing Beast back in the deck. At least not at the bottom. So let's go for let's go for a Trop. Draw a card. Planeswalker? Oh, Narset. Classic. Our out's literally Questing Beast. Yeah, just didn't even think about Narset there. Rough. I can. Oko's pretty good. They do have Spell Pierce, but we can play around Spell Pierce, which is nice. Library's pretty nice. Snap's pretty good. Definitely pretty close to a GG. I think this comes back to the attack with Questing Beast, and maybe I could have just attacked with the Beast and held back Knight, so we could just Karakas the Beast in case of a Terminus. I think maybe we just played a bit too much into... yeah, played into a sweeper. Because I believe we could have just attacked with the Questing Beast. Held up... yeah, held up Karakas, then returned it. And the next turn swing... It's a 4-turn clock, but it's still better than, you know, anything else we had. Yeah, they had the CJ for the Oko, but I guess that's why you play it as well. I guess I shouldn't have 6 there because we could have sacked the food token in response to the Teferi bounce and they wouldn't have been able to draw a card there. It's really just Green Suns here. Entreat's funny. They have to get rid of the Gaddock Teeg. They do have a hand of 7. Let's be honest. Interesting. I don't know why they didn't just J-Salty us there. I guess maybe they thought that if we have something like Questing Beast in our hand, they might not be able to counter it, but that's a bit of a stretch. I'm really trying here. We're at the point where we could definitely concede just to get a bit of time, but our opponent is behind in time by 2 minutes. And, like, it's not over till it's over. So, you know, there's definitely games that we've won where we've just been able to wait until the very last minute and draw what we want. We had a game against Miracles where our opponent had Jace, another Planeswalker, Mentor, and, like, 4 tokens. And we drew... they were on 2 life. And we drew Green Suns for Questing Beast, and then they didn't have a counterspell. They kept Swords to Plowshares on top of their library because they had a counterbalance, and we got to win, which is very cool. So, see how this plays out. We do have Lethal on board as well, so is it going to stick around? Most likely not, but you never know. Our opponent could just have, you know, a bunch of counter magic in hand. All right. Upkeep Predict. Interesting. Maybe they want to bounce the Teeg in my turn with Entreat on the stack? I'm not sure what they tried to do. Was that like their... Surely that wasn't their out. Surely that wasn't their out. Now they're going to brainstorm again. Okay, well maybe... maybe there is a chance. I think the one thing that they need is Snapcaster Mage. I think Snapcaster Mage or Swords to Plowshares is really their only out. Snapcaster here, okay. Swords, okay. Swords on Teeg, we can return it, because we definitely want it around. Swords fizzles. Sylvan Library. Interesting. Interesting. So I do have the option of Library. If it resolves, I could then try to Swords the Snapcaster Mage and then attack Narset, which means Library's turned on the following turn. But if it's really annoying, they can Teferi it away. Yeah, I think I also like Plows. I think I want to play this first to see if they actually let the Library resolve. Because they might go... I don't like attack Narset first. If we play the Library and they go, okay, Narset's out, Library means nothing, we'll let it resolve. If we then Swords, they might force it, but we have 2. But if we Swords first and then cast Library, they might force the Library, which is a lot worse. They don't have access to white. I mean, they could have another Tundra, for all we know. I'm going to go for Library first. Spell Pierce. We didn't know about Spell Pierce. I guess we didn't because we knew the brainstorms as well. So if I pay for Spell Pierce, I then have Swords up, but I'm not attacking. I could also just cast the Gaddock Teeg. I think we let this slide. Now they have Force. Okay. Yeah, Teeg's a little bit worse because of Teferi, but the Entreat is most likely going to do it. I can't think of a way around Entreat. Okay. But yeah, sadly with the Force, there wasn't really a way to play around Force on Teeg. Mum. Play Mum. I guess then we Swords an Angel. Pretty happy to try to get rid of 2 Angels here, actually. I'm kind of just wanting to burn time down. Flusterstorm's fine. I could pay for all of these. I don't think my out was ever Questing Beast. I think my out is literally winning game 2 and then timing them out in game 3, which doesn't sound great, but, you know, it is a part of MTGO. That's pretty good as well. So in for 10, we can attack for 1. Interesting. Just the attack. Just the attack for 4? What? Hey, Jesus, welcome to the stream. Alright. Let's go to the board. Hey, Jesus, a huge thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. That's really nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Judgment seems great against the Planeswalkers. Veto seems great against the Planeswalkers. Meddling Mage is interesting. I think it's maybe worth it. I think we're probably taking out all 4 swords. Yeah, I don't want to milk too much, but we can probably drop some number of Knight of the Reliquary. They are great, but I think we have other ways of winning this matchup. Reclamation's really interesting. I think that's actually quite good. Meddling Mage does die to snap, but we do have a number of exalted creatures, which is nice. I could see us actually going down on Mana Dorks. Probably the birds more than the Hierarch, because at least the Hierarchs can attack. Hey, thank you very much. That's really nice, Jesus. I'm also going to drop a Wasteland, and then bring in the 2 Veils, just to make sure that stuff that we're actually casting isn't countered. Maybe that's overthinking. Maybe Veil isn't that great. I don't like Palace Jailer because they can easily steal the crown. I don't think Force of Vigor is worth it. I don't think they're playing anything like Back to Basics, which can be pretty brutal at times. I think this is fine. Everything kind of has its place. Reclamation's sweet. Reclamation gets back... Sylvan Library, I guess. Collector Ouphe can probably go out. So maybe it's actually worth having maybe just like 1 Swords to Plowshares. Just in case they do start some sort of mentor beatdown plan. Yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe Reclamation actually isn't that great when you think about it. If everything is either getting exiled or put to the bottom of your library. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, Pow1 Tar, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Okay, let's go to 2 swords. 2 Veil. Judgments are fine, Veto's fine, Meddling Mage is okay. I think this is pretty cool. Ah, we're playing 61, of course. Alright, let's get that knight back in and submit this. We lost the first game, so now we're going to the board. Which hopefully should do a little bit better. This hand is interesting. So we have Green Suns for Dryad Arbor early on. We don't currently have access to blue mana. We have Veil, which is okay, not the greatest. Veil doesn't do too much in this hand. But I also don't really want to mulligan. It's little too action. Yeah, so the issue that I have with this... The issue that I have with this hand is that it kind of relies on just like a turn 2 Qasali Pridemage, and then maybe later on cast the Green Suns with Veil up so it can't be countered. Yeah, I think just because sometimes there are outs, it's definitely worth playing. I'm going to mulligan this. I really want some sort of action, and this is a bit better because we have the turn 1 Mum and turn 2 Scryb Ranger, turn 3 Knights. We'll keep this. I'm going to bottom the Wasteland. So let's go for Tundra Mum. Yeah, that's a great point. I think that first hand really relied on the top of the deck, and sometimes it can be a little bit rough. Alright, no swords is really nice. Wasteland. Okay, that's kind of nice because that's our third mana. So here I don't mind just going straight for... I could get a basic if I wanted to. I don't mind getting a basic. And then just playing Scryb Ranger here. Yeah, they're most likely playing back to basics. So having the green in just a basic forest is really nice because it just keeps open, usually keeps open Green Sun Zenith for something like Qasali Pridemage. My opponent could also have something like Engineered Explosives, which isn't that great with Oko, but I assume... If they Engineered Explosives for 3 and we Oko the Engineered Explosives, does it have the... They're not +1/+1 counters, are they? No, they're not. All good. I guess, yeah, we didn't see red, so maybe this is just straight blue-white. Portent makes me think this is just going to be Terminus here, which is pretty rough. Maybe not. Okay. I don't want to play the Knight because I don't want to go too wide on my board, but I'm happy just running this Oko out. Oh, I should not 6 there. I should definitely not 6 there. Well, there's Volk. Red Blast. Interesting. Can't beat that. Savannah. So this is interesting. We can either play Knight with Veil open, or we can play Savannah and then Wasteland. I don't really want to use Scryb's ability to return a land, or rather play one. They have 6 cards in hand. The rough thing is that if we do commit to Knight and then just have, Brainstorm Terminus, then we're getting blown out pretty hard. If we Wasteland or do nothing else, then we're probably not putting ourselves in a great position either. Not Wastelanding also turns on another white source into Supreme Verdict. But maybe I have to be pretty open-minded here and just play into what I think. I think I have to just make them have it. I can't just be scared the whole time. We were going to run Leovold, but I didn't want to... I wanted to keep it straight BANT for now. But Leovold's definitely a card that I've seen before. Sadly not too great, because this looks like a Terminus. Alright. Luckily no back to basics, okay. Hey, Goblin's Master himself. I kind of want to play this Savannah, because if we draw Green Suns, we can hopefully just Green Suns ourselves a little bit back into this game. Tap Sanctuary isn't the greatest. This is where I really want Sylvan Library. Trop. Now I'm pretty happy to keep this in hand. Jace is pretty good. Fate Seal Us. I think I'm happy to actually Veil that. Just to see if we can draw a card. Not the greatest. Haha! I guess we play this because we can get Dryad Arbor. See what they do with this. Put a card to the bottom, okay. Fetch does work against Fate Seal. Do I want... I guess I want Dryad Arbor. Just to get it out of the deck. I don't really want to draw it either. Dryad Militant. Alright. Snap's fine. I kind of like using Veto on an actual permanent or card that's going to further win them the game, if not Jace's already. So I don't particularly like hitting, say, Brainstorm there with Dovin's Veto. I think they're already ahead enough. It's not a card that I want to be countering. Force. I think that's fine. I think I want to keep the Veto in case we draw into Council's Judgment. I think that's our current way to stay in the game. Guess the Misty allows us to fetch away if needed. Now it's just mind games if my opponent actually keeps a threat on top and thinks we're going to use our Misty Rainforest in response. Put a card on top. Predict. Targeting me. Interesting. Let's definitely Misty in response. And get that second trop. That was an interesting one. All right. In a tough spot. In a really tough spot. It's pretty much Council's Judgment or bust. Sylvan Library. Ah. Let's try it out. Okay. I guess Sylvan maybe gives us a turn. Swords on top. Council Judgment. Ah. I should actually pay. I should definitely pay. Pay and pay. Because they're gonna be my library anyway. I feel like they definitely ulti here. Yeah. Terminus. Okay. At least we have Dovin's veto, I guess. Oh, they draw it? No. I won't even get to see it because it's land and put on top, put on top. Yeah, sadly this is just the Jace got out of hand. But again, just playing into Terminus. Yeah, I'm definitely not winning the game if I don't have anything else, so... Can we do this? I don't think so with only 2 cards in hand. Unfortunately. Just something would have been really nice. Just an early piece of pressure, or maybe a Planeswalker. Just a way to be able to hit the board state without having to actually put too many creatures on the board. Because Terminus obviously is a pretty great deck again, pretty great card against a deck filled with creatures. So it's definitely an uphill battle, but I think BANT definitely has a few more options to deal with miracles than most decks, or at least most archetypes of Maverick, because you do have the sort of plan B of Planeswalkers. But hey, that's Magic. First time I ever saw a Jace ulti. Well, there we go. Okay. Well, I'm happy to be the guy that showed you a Jace ulti. Shake Lion. Haha. No. This hand's better, but the Cradle's a little bit iffy. We're gonna keep it. And I'm gonna bottom the second Hierarch. Yep. Cradle's gonna be interesting. Cradle's actually a card that I like taking out against Miracles. Probably more than Wasteland, especially against that sort of deck, where they do have a few more jewels than the regular just blue-white. Achilles loves his Planeswalkers. Jono, hello, welcome, by the way. Apologies. I think playing with Planeswalkers are sick. You definitely have a few slots in Maverick where people are playing like Mirran Crusaders or Planeswalkers where you're just not playing sort of green threats that can be found with Green Suns. So yeah, very cool to see Walkers, especially Vraska. I think Vraska did a lot of work for us in our last stream. Just the ability to have a card that deals with Oko but doesn't put you down a card is really good. So usually punishing Maverick has probably the best answer to it in Elemental Blasts, but to have to have Vraska, which can kill an Oko and then stick around, is really nice. Oof. Mulligan to 3 cards. They're I think based on these Mulligan decisions, they're on some sort of graveyard deck. I think it's only a graveyard deck that can come back from like a Mulligan to 3, something like Reanimator or Dredge. But that's pretty tough. I guess you could have land. I guess you could have land, Entomb, Reanimate is a pretty good one. Have you ever thought about playing Stasis? I've never thought about playing Stasis. I've always wanted to find a deck that plays Stasis, but I do like Opposition, or is it Oppression? One of them is really good. One of them is the 4-drop. LED Echoes of Eons is a pretty good... Yeah, that's a pretty good 3-drop. Yeah, there's a blue enchantment. I believe it costs 4, and you can tap a creature to either tap a land, creature, or artifact. Opposition, there we go. Yeah, that seems like a pretty cool deck. I've seen some versions of it with just a bunch of really small creatures, like a bunch of mana dorks, and then maybe some other stuff. Also, each Grim Monolith deck is a deck with great options coming back. Yeah, that's fair enough. Alright, let's see what we're up against. Oh, my opponent's down to 1 card? Maybe they want to see what we're on first. What do I want to get? I think I want to get a Trop. Maybe I just want to get a Tundra. Savannah, sorry. I think, actually, I want to play this game out like I'm just green-white. I really don't want to show that I have... Yeah. Play Cradle and Bluff Elves. Oko's nice, but I don't think we need to play it. Oh, okay. So we can Green Suns for 3 here, I believe. We can play Scryb Ranger. We can untap, return Savannah. Play Cradle. Play Mom. Could Green Suns for 2? Ah. Need white mana, of course. Apologies, apologies. Maybe I'm happy with Skoos. Oh, maybe I'm happy with Hexdrinker. Or maybe it's combo that I'm scared about, so I should be going for Gaddock Teeg. This is an interesting one. So if it's Reanimator, I don't really care because... Maybe I do. I feel like Ooze has game against all of them, including Storm. So Ooze actually seems pretty nice. Turn 2. 4 creatures. Nice. Doesn't happen often, so pretty happy for it. Green... Haha, yes! Questing Beast! Nice. 4/5. Green Suns. That's my deck. I'm just going to attack with everything. This is definitely worth a little screenshot. Still a pass from my opponent. Misty. Still like attack with everything. I kind of like keeping the Misty in hand for now. Okay, guys, I need some help. What do you guys think that my opponent is on? Yeah, I'm gonna say some sort of reanimator deck as well. So I think I like Leylines and maybe the Force, maybe even the Fields. Maybe the Fields are. Yeah, Veto's pretty cool. I think Questing Beast might be a bit too slow. The Swords are interesting. Okos are okay. Knights are fine. 60 rat colony? Rat colony? Colony, thank you. I'm so glad I could say it. I was going to say colony. Wasteland can probably get dropped. Yeah, Teferi's probably a little bit slow. Collector Ouphe seems okay against all of them because of Lotus Petal at least. Thalia seems great. Hey, Metalizer88, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Maybe Hexdrinker is just a little bit too slow. The no lands, no plays also reminds me of Goblin Charbelcher, but that is probably not that. Hey, Worldwake, that's a great point. That's a good one. Especially because a lot of Charbelcher decks have gone towards Echoes as well, so... Maybe drop a Swords... Why didn't you draw Reverse Miracles? Probably drop down on one Oko. Probably drop down on one Sylvan Library. Maybe Sylvan's just too slow. And that's actually it. I don't mind this. Thalias are okay. I still like 3 on the draw. I'm going to see how this goes. Maybe I'll cut a Plow and bring in one Oko. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully have Leyline in the opening. That would be pretty nice. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. Haha! This hand's actually nice because it has 2 ley lines, but it also has a plan. So we have Green Suns for whatever we want, and also just a turn 3 Knight. So I'm going to keep this. Oh, Birds is actually really nice. Let's go for Birds. Interesting. They have to discard, so we get to see what they discarded. Land Grant! They're on Belcher! Where is Worldwake? Worldwake. You got this. Okay, so I guess Belcher can't beat Collector Ouphe, which is kind of nice. I guess we just go for Collector Ouphe here. Offer Trop. Hey, Demonic 101, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Hey, Natsol, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what deck you play in Legacy. To be fair, my opponent could have bounce spells, so it's definitely not over yet. Okay, well maybe it could be over yet. It could be. Alright, well that was kind of nice. Belcher's, you know, I respect Belcher, but it's not the funnest deck to play against, so I'm kind of happy that we got to dodge that quite easily. But I think Belcher's definitely gotten a little bit better with Echoes. Because it's not really a deck that uses its graveyard as a resource too much, other than Rider Flame before that. I sometimes actually saw a blue card that it played. Arizona, apart from the Arizona Eternal Magic Crew. Oh, that's sweet. Very cool to hear it looks like it. It looks like that. That Arizona has a pretty active Eternal scene, which is cool. This hand is sweet. We'll keep this. I still remember in my early days of Death and Taxes against you, you had a Belcher on board, but you had no lands and you passed to me, and I had either a play of Aethersworn Canonist or Pithing Needle naming Charbelcher. And I knew you didn't have LEDs, so I was like, there's no way he can cast more than 2 spells here. So let's just go with Canonist. And you borrowed LEDs that night, and he top deck LED and killed me. And I will never... I'll never forget that. Oof. You 100% Pithing Needle. That's 100% correct. This is an interesting one. I kind of like Wasteland and Swords. Just to keep my opponent behind a little bit. I can then also Green Suns as well. So here I like Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, Wasteland my opponent, and Swords Stitches Supplier. I guess I could wait with the Swords, because their only outs to actually getting in the bin are Cabal Therapy or Altar. There's no instant ways that they can do it. I mean, Oko is pretty nice as well, but this is a good little what's the play. What's the play? Oh, of course. Yeah, so I like using my mana effectively here. So let's go for Dryad Arbor. Let's play Wasteland. Let's Wasteland our opponent. And then I believe I don't get punished if I hold up Swords, but at the same time, I think I'm just going to Swords here. I'm just going to get it out of the way and leave my opponent with nothing. I think the literal best card that I can draw is going to be Cradle, because then we could Green Suns for Ooze, play Cradle, and then have 3 mana up. Carrion Feeder, okay. Windswept Heath. I still very much like just going for Ooze here. And probably eating the Gravecrawler, because the Hogak we can actually... Yeah, we can Elk the Hogak. We also have the out of Karakas, but yeah, we have... We have the Scoos, which is pretty nice, but this deck's really scary to play against. They definitely have a lot of different outs. They might have something like main deck Abrupt Decay or Assassin's Trophy to get rid of the Ooze. Altar's not too bad. Library. I think that 4 green mana is just better than playing anything here. Can definitely attack. I think I'm just going to start beating down. And then hold up 4 mana. I don't really want to eat anything right now. I'd rather wait to see if I can maybe get like a Vengevine or a Bloodghast, a Bridge. Especially with they don't have 2 creatures in play right now, so there's no real point to eating a Hogak. But it's tempting. Hedron Crab. Okay, this is where the fun really happens. So this is going to be fine. Dryad Arbor. Okay. Mill 2. There's 1 bridge and a Vengevine. Okay. Now they can cast a Hogak. And also put the Vengevine trigger on the stack, which I believe we just eat here. I'm pretty happy to eat a bridge here. I guess they can respond, which is a bit annoying. Maybe I should have done that. I guess we can eat it to force them to actually do something right now. Yeah, so let's eat bridge and see what they do. Sack the Dryad Arbor, okay. Hedron Crab. Interesting, sack the Carrion Feeder. Another bridge, wow, okay. So now we definitely eat the other bridge. Before the Hogak comes into play. So if we eat something here, they can just sack the Hogak and try to keep going off with zombies. So I think I have to just keep 1 open just in case we can hit something that's a little bit more relevant, but it's pretty tough. I think the issue is if they hit another bridge, they just win. But I kind of want to take them off a Hogak. I think my out here is to eat the Hogak in the bin and then hope they don't alter into another one. They do have multiple Hogak, but I think here I can eat this Hogak, and then if they don't hit off this one, then they're kind of stuck. This Hogak is on the stack, so we got rid of the other one, and now they can sack this. I guess they can sack their other zombie. Oh, they had one in hand? Ah, they had another one. Rough, rough. And there's double bridge. I might as well just see if they... I might as well see what else is in the deck, but that is it. Yeah, I guess I thought I could get them in a position where they only had one zombie and one Hogak, but yeah, that was obviously a little bit ignorant. But at least we can see what's in their deck. We can see if they have any main deck outs to something like Screws. But yeah, looking at the board as well, definitely like Leylines and Force. Veil doesn't do anything. I guess it stops Cabal Therapy, which isn't the worst, but we probably have better things to do. Yeah, that's fair enough. That does sound like a pretty great play. I think my, yeah, I just don't have much experience against the deck, which is really tough. But yeah, the altars just make it so brutal, and especially if you hit pretty well. That's the thing as well, just knowing when to hit and what to do. Yeah, Meddling Mage is actually really interesting. I wonder if Councils is good enough just because I want enough answers to alter. I guess Collector Ouphe is kind of nice because it stops alter. I think we can definitely take out Thalia. We can most likely take out Gaddock Teeg. Yeah, I think Meddling Mage on Hogak is pretty good. And maybe even early enough you could name Alter, but it's probably pretty tough either way. So we haven't seen any cards yet that are really different from like a stock standard list. The one really annoying thing about this deck that I want to build is that Hedron Crabs are like a $6 common. And then some of the other parts are just kind of expensive. Like, you know, Grave Crawlers, a playset's like $40. Bloodghasts, maybe like 60 if they're like 15 each. But even Bridges, they haven't come down too much since the sort of banning of Dredge in Modern, but it has gotten a lot better, especially with the new Ox. It looks pretty sweet. Do you have a way to either sack or kill your creatures to get rid of the bridges? I can Wasteland my own Dryad Arbor. That's probably the coolest thing I can do. Otherwise, I can't think of any. I guess I can Qasali Pridemage their altar. That's another one. Yeah, sack Knight to Arbor is a good one. Yeah, that's about it. Elemental Blast is dead. I don't think Jailer is good enough, especially because they go so wide. We'll just lose the crown straight away. Veto probably doesn't have enough targets. Meddling Mage is pretty good. So I think it's these 6 and maybe some number of Council Judgments. Ah, Legendary Thalias. But I'd probably take Thalias out here. They're not the greatest. Gaddock Teeg can come out. Teferi can most likely come out. Dryad Militant actually seems pretty good because it does stop the flashback of Cabal Therapy. All my Mana Dorks seem great. Hexdrinker seems probably lackluster. Mums are fine, especially if he goes to a really fair game. Meddling Mage, Force, Council's Judgment. Scryb Ranger is probably a little bit mediocre. Scryb Ranger, the only thing I'd say about Scryb Ranger is that it gives you more green sources for Ooze, but I think we can rely a little bit less on that. You like vetoes? What are we trying to hit with veto? Protect Leyline? I guess we'll see if we have room for it. I don't mind Questing Beast just because it's a really nice way to get some damage in, because a lot of the creatures can't block. I could see myself going down on a land. Dryad Arbor is great. Maybe a mum can be dropped. Oko does nullify their altar and also Hogak, which is really nice. Sylvan Library is probably maybe a little bit too slow, but I think the ley lines really slow up this. But they can reset Hogak, right? Yeah, maybe Library's a little bit too slow. So maybe I actually just want the extra Council's Judgment. Actually, Veil of Summer does stop the majority if they are on... I don't mind a Veil. I might go 2 Veils because I assume they're going to be on... they're going to be on Assassin's Trophy. It also stops Cabal Therapy, which is actually really nice if they already know our hand. I'm going to see how this goes. Hopefully there's a game 3. No Leyline, but we do have a Force. But it is a 1-lander. I actually don't mind this hand. We have a lot of mana. We have protection, we have something to deal with altar. Mulder Leyline? I guess we do have 4 in the deck, so it does, it's a 40% chance to have in the opening hand, so it only increases as we go down. Hiya! Okay. This is actually pretty perfect as well. I guess we bottom the Scooze because we want a Green Suns for it. It also means the Scooze is protected from Cabal Therapy, which is really nice. Yeah, I'm not going to argue about the percentage of 40 and 38. Bottom Scooze. Opponent's still on 7. Well, sadly we are also 61 pre-board, but I do like the enthusiasm art. Okay. I think it's worth elking here. Even though we don't have anything to keep Oko protected, it's going to be fine. It does turn off the discard, which is really nice. Bloodghast and Altar, okay. Judgment. Interesting. So Scrooge isn't that great. What can Green Suns get that might actually be relevant? Yeah, Collector Ouphe is interesting. Qasali Pridemage is interesting. Hexdrinker, I believe we took out. Yep. Get an Arbor and Elkit? That's not the worst either. Yeah. Collector Ouphe, Dryad Militant, Scavenging Ooze, Qasali Pridemage. So Judgment's most likely going after the Carrion Feeder because that's probably going to get pretty out of hand. So I think we just trade here with the, or at least put the Dryad Arbor in front, because either way the Oko's dying. So I might as well see if we can trade here, and then maybe hit the Carrion Feeder next turn with Council Judgment. Because if we put this in front of Carrion Feeder, they can sack these two and then trade. Or just go all in. I guess they could also fetch for Dryad Arbor, so I'm going to actually just block here. Hey, Solcino. Thanks for coming in. We're currently 1-1. We got up against Goblin Belcher, and we went down against 4-Color Miracles. And now we're down a game against Hogak, but looking on the bright side. Okay, Oko is pretty nice. Altar's fine. Leyline. Noble. Make this a 3-3. Attack for 2. I can definitely see how good Oko is with Astrolabe in the deck as well. What do they name? Okay, okay. Keeping them back, interesting. Green Suns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely like attacking. Gonna get another Reliquary. And pass back. Noble. Yeah, Leo would be cool to try out. Now I'm pretty happy to go after their altar. Just in case they had something like end step leyline. We were going to put one in, but we didn't. We did want to just stay with the non-black, although we do have 2 black cards in hand and 1 on board. Hex is interesting. I think Hex is kind of cool for the games like that where they are a bit more grindy. I think I'm happy to drop out the Veils on the draw. They're probably a little less good. Meddling Mage. Is Meddling Mage better than Dovin's Veto? I think it is, because if I wanted to, I could name a non-creature spell they haven't cast already, which turns off 4 of them instead of just countering 1 of them. See how this goes. See how this goes. Hopefully do okay. They definitely know we have at least 3 ley lines. This end is interesting. It's playable, but we don't have a white source. But I think just because of the ley line, it's good enough. We have enough fetches and white sources to draw into. Opponent's gone to 6 as well. Careful study, okay. What do they drop? Carrion Feeder, Heejin Crab, okay. Dryad Militant, actually not the worst card. There's actually maybe a play there where I go for Wasteland instead, because it can keep my opponent off something like Assassin's Trophy for now, but I feel like that Careful Study was trying to find a trophy. So yeah, I think I do like Wasteland there a lot more. Okay. Well, now I definitely like taking them off green. Especially drawing that Windswept Heath. I think, oh, Wasteland. Interesting. Gotta get aggressive. But yeah, I can definitely see where we get stuck on 1 or 2 lands here, but I think we're in a pretty good position where we're just gonna maybe draw into, hopefully, that 3rd land. Yeah, it always feels pretty nice. I mean, Leyline's backbreaking, but then being able to double Wasteland our opponent, who obviously doesn't have too much mana in hand, is really nice. Just in time. So we take him down to 11 next turn. If we play the Knight, we can then attack for... I think Knight's good. I'm trying to think if they have... Is there a way for them to Force of Vigor the Leyline and then untap with one land and a creature and alter to the win? Dryad Militant doesn't exile the bridges. I don't mind Oko. Because then we can just Judgment it next turn. I guess we could just Judgment the altar. But I think Oko is just the better play. I'm going to play it a little bit safe. I'm going to play Oko. And tick up on the altar. I do have lethal next turn. But... seems a little bit safer. Trop. Okay, well, Questing Beast is really nice. How do I want to use Oko? I think I want to give Pro and then just attack. Elka's Land No Mercy. Yeah. Elking does seem pretty fun, but I really just want to make sure we get this win because Bug Hogak can be really, really tough to play against. And obviously there my opponent just got a little bit rough, like a few rough hands because of the ley lines. But if you have a really nice hand with that deck and you don't have something like Assassin's Trophy, it can be pretty hard to mulligan it. Ballesta. This is where I don't like the deck. Where you get a hand of 3-drops and, you know, these are great cards, but I'm not doing anything in the early game. I think just because of the amount of, the amount of cards we have between the curve of 1 CMC and 2 CMC that I'm pretty happy to mulligan just once. None of these on turn 3 is going to be match winning, so I'm happy to mulligan once. And this hand is great. So I'm going to keep this. And oh, this is actually a really interesting one. Let's, what do we bottom? What do we bottom? I think it is Thalia that's the card that we don't care about here, because we want to go turn 1 Noble and then either turn 2 Green Suns or Teferi. And if it is combo, we have Green Suns on turn 2 for either Gaddock Teeg or Collector Ouphe. So I like keeping this and bottoming the Thalia. Where we get a little bit... where it's a little bit tough is that if our Noble doesn't survive this turn. But to be fair as well, drawing into another Thalia also makes this hand a lot better, because the second Thalia is most likely going to be irrelevant, so dropping a legendary creature that we have multiples of also makes a little bit of sense. Oh no. I guess we're to 7 here. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. Belchard. Belchard. Rough. Jesus. So this is a deck that makes a ton of mana really quickly, and then either kills you through Empty the Warrens, or Goblin Charbelcher, which is it's a 4 mana artifact that for 3 mana you can... I'm sure they'll show us. I guess you could also go off with Tendrils or like Grape Shot, but I think that's a little bit more linear. But yeah, look up the card for Goblin Charbelcher. Goblin Charbelcher. I spelled it wrong. There we go. Nope. Why is my opponent not done anything here? What are they waiting for? Surely my opponent just sacks LED for 3 blue and then flashes back Echoes and then tries to go off after that. There's Burning Wish, okay. Chain Lightning. Interesting. I think that might have been a misclick. I guess, is Wasteland just good enough here? Wasteland Noble Hierarch. Swords is dead. I think it's just, yeah, go for Noble Hierarch Wasteland. Just keep him off as much mana as possible. Interesting, we get a turn. Trop. Not the greatest. We do get a free Scryb Ranger. But I think Library is just best here. I like Library. I like Library, but keeping my mana around. I guess we also get a land drop here, so we can cast a second Noble. But maybe I want to play around something like Pyroclasm out of the board just in case. I guess either way it doesn't really matter. I mean, they have to draw something here because their hand obviously wasn't great just playing LED. Doesn't really turn on anything. Elvish Spirit Guide. Okay, Tinderwall. Chrome Mox. Okay. Yeah, so Jesus, this is a Goblin Charbelcher. So for 3 mana, you can tap it, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Goblin Charbelcher deals damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way. Because Taiga's the only land in their deck, it's just going to hit us for a bunch here. Yep. So what do we like? Force of Vigor seems great. Dovin's Veto seems okay on the play. Leylines are most likely worth it. Veils don't really do anything. Meddling Mage is fine. Blue Elemental Blast is actually pretty good. I'm going to bring this in. We're going to take out 4 swords. Probably Questing Beast. Oko gives us a pretty nice out. Okay, we'll play Veils. Scryb Ranger is probably a little bit too slow. Knight's probably a little bit too slow. Scooz is meh? Maybe I'll put the Veils here for a second. Could probably drop down on some number of mums as well. Like, that seems like a pretty nice switch. Not finding room for Veils there. Like, this seems fine. Judgment is, like, meh. I think this is good enough. See how this goes. I'd love to play first. Slow hand. Interaction with Dovin's Veto, but that's about it. This is interesting. I don't mind this because we have the Force of Vigor and also just holding up Blue Elemental Blast. So I might just drop the Wasteland here. Maybe I actually want to keep that for the Taiga. So maybe I want to drop the Snow-Covered Forest. The only thing that happens if we drop the Snow-Covered Forest is if we hold up Blue Elemental Blast and they do nothing and pass, if we untap and then play Wasteland for turn, we aren't playing one of these birds or hierarchs either. Which I kind of like. I kind of like that more than just seeing if they have... I guess they probably might. Okay, let's go like that. They most likely have like Land Grant or something, so... Misty Pass. LED's fine. Tinderwall. Is there a world where I want to Force of Vigor this LED with Tinderwall in the stack? Chrome Mox is fine. Ritual. I think I'm happy for this one to resolve. They only have 2 cards left. Blast that? Is it greedy to try to see if they have like a Burning Wish or something else? Maybe it is. Let's get a Tropical Island. I guess that's fair, yeah. Qasali pretty nice. Play Qasali, attack for 2 with Noble Hierarch. Force of Vigor there, really nice. Force not a card I'm usually a big fan of because usually it's a 2-for-1, but the ability for it to be a 2-for-2 and also just be free is just so good. It's not really something that Mavericks had before. I feel like, you know, in the past year, a lot more decks are getting sort of the free mana cards that you really want. Burning Wish. Echoes, okay. LED, interesting. Is there a question here? So each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7. Is there a moment here where I use Qasali Pridemage on the Chrome Mox? Just to get Qasali back in the deck as well? Or should I just let this resolve and keep the Qasali around? I feel like I should probably keep the Qasali around. I think I'm just going to do that. Another Force is pretty good though. Let's be honest. Actually, it's the same Force. We only have one. Haha. Right is fine. Ritual is fine. Seething Song is kind of scary. At least if they go for Empty the Warrens here, we can go for... Oh, we don't have Questing Beast. We don't have Questing Beast in the deck. I don't know if we can beat this. 16 goblins? Green Suns. What can we do? What can we do? Let's have a think. Scooze doesn't do a whole lot, unfortunately. Is there a world where we can deal 18? Get Knight and Hexdrinker. So we get to play a land. We can then play a Mum and also Green Suns for 3. We don't have a way to gain life right now because of our creatures. I could also green suns for Scavenging Ooze, but I don't think it's enough because we have to use the Horizon Canopy, which is take one. Dryad Arbor is in the deck. Knight's only a 2/2 as well, which is pretty rough. I mean, we can green suns for Dryad Arbor. We can then green suns for Skoos. Maybe I want to attack first. I'm definitely not blocking with the Hierarch, so I'm pretty happy to attack here for at least 2. Puts him to 16. I think we're just a little bit too short. Unfortunately, we don't have life gain in the deck outside of Ooze. We don't have Batterskull or Jide or... yeah. Interesting. If they gamble for another Echoes to try to kill us, they could just put... I guess it's only one creature they're putting in the graveyard. I can't attack here. I guess I can attack with the Noble Hierarch. Oh, so okay, so they have 13. We can sack Canopy, that is correct. Windswept Heath. Block 1, block 1, block 1, block 1, block 1. We're taking 8. Yeah, we can't do anything. We can gain 1. Yeah, we're just dead. Go up to 5. Yep. GG's. Tough. Tough. Maybe if we could have drawn into another creature like a... It's still rough. One card that I was thinking of playing in this deck was Deputy of Detention in the sideboard. But I think maybe D-Sphere is just better. But then I was like, maybe just Council's Judgment is just better in that space because it kind of... You know, unless it is something like tokens, we really just want to get rid of something like a Jace the Mind Sculptor or an opposing threat, then just put a D-Sphere on the field and then maybe see it blow up later on. It's always tough. Always rough. Plague Engineer? Plague Engineer would be very cool. I guess I could use Birds of Paradise to cast it. But yeah, I do like the thought of Plague Engineer in the sideboard when we do add Leovold. And most likely a Bayou. Make it black, plain and simple. But, you know, hopefully we can win this last game and finish on a 3-2, which would be pretty nice. Oko's nice, but I can definitely see how much better it is with Astrolabe in the deck. A lot of the time we're not being able to create a 3-3, or not in position where we really want to create a 3-3 from our creature straight up. So you still have to take the time to make a food and then make that a creature. But I definitely think Oko is very powerful. And it definitely adds another sort of layer of attack to Maverick, which is nice. Maybe even just Oko's better with Stoneforge in the deck. Because then at least you can turn Stoneforge into a 3-3 after it's done its job of finding an equipment or putting in Batterskull. Alright, let's see how we go in this one. Shake Line. What was Shake Line on? Belcher. Oh no. Belcher 3 times? Oh no. Yeah, Shake Line was on Belcher. Alright. Alright. This hand's fantastic. We can... I think this is the best hand we can have. Because we have a turn 2 Collector Ouphe. It's really the best thing that we can ask for. Unfortunately. Three in the league. I feel like Lotus Petal is just like game. Still have Teeg, which is nice, but this is most likely just a game 1 win for our opponent. We'll concede there. Rough. That's really rough. Okay. Let's go back to this. 4 swords out. I don't mind Questing Beast because it isn't out too empty if we do get time. Knights are probably a little bit too slow. I don't mind still having 2 in the deck. Teferi a little bit too slow. Scryb Ranger a little bit too slow. Sylvan Library is a little bit too slow. Blue, Dovin, Force, Leyline, Meddling Mage, 1 Veil? No, Veil's not worth it. What did we have? We kept something. Is there another? No. Maybe it was just 1 more night. I don't... Maybe Scryb's okay. No, Scryb doesn't really do anything. Maybe, I guess Sylvan Library, if we do have a game like the last one where we kind of ran out of gas and then they just got the combo before we got anything online. This hand's better, but it doesn't have any white, it doesn't have any green mana. Yeah, the Beb's for a few things. So it's for Breach, it's for Arcanist, it's for Young Pyromancer, Sneak Attack, of course, Gamble, and of course against this deck it's not too bad. Okay, we're going down to 4. Alright, okay. Keep, bottom, Skoos, Sylvan Library, Plains. Play Leyline, play Hierarch, and then hopefully hold up Dovin's veto? Sadly, I think the first hand was just a little bit too slow. Whereas at least this hand does something on turn 1. Wow, okay, well... They're not even going to try. Oh, they went to 3. Okay, well... There we go. Do we change anything? I don't think we do. Yeah, let's just run it back. That's Belcher. Good games, both teams played well, yeah. Again, especially on the draw, I really need Leyline. Leyline, or at least, I guess we went to 4 last time. This hand isn't that great either. It's just too slow. I guess, like, Dryad Militant is okay, but... They're going to 5. Okay, well, if they mull to Leyline, how good is Dryad Militant then? Is Dryad Militant good enough? Maybe it is. Maybe if they started in Force of Vigor to... Oh, they probably don't play Force of Vigor because they don't have enough green cards. Maybe Dryad Militant is just good enough here. Yeah, I don't mind turn 1 LED Echoes. You're on the draw, you could get turn 1 killed here. Yeah, so turn 1 kill is obviously the thing that I'm most scared of, and the only way to really stop that or have any sort of protection is Leyline. But if they're holding a hand because they have an answer to Leyline, then Dryad Militant seems fantastic. Or if they have a hand that they've just gone, this is fine, I just need to draw into X card, then Dryad Militant is perfect. Leyline. Okay. We'll keep this. 3 to the bottom. Oko. Green Suns and land. Oh. Stream team, we will definitely open this chest. We just got 2 turn 1 wins, so that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. It is just that easy sometimes. So let's look at the list. I thought it was pretty good. I think that the opportunity cost of not running Leovold, you should just be running Leovold. I think you can just run a Bayou instead of maybe the other Trop to fit it in. And then maybe drop Knight down to probably, I'm going to say Knight down to 3. And then fit in the Oko as the 4th Oko. I assume not. I assume they just lost to Leyline, which happens sometimes, which is pretty rough. Of course, Leyline shined. I really like Leyline right now as Graveyard Hate over Surgical and Fairy Macabre. Just because, of course, it turns off the whole graveyard as a resource, instead of having to pick and choose which cards you get rid of, which is really nice. I would honestly, like, if I ran back the league, I would probably maybe get rid of 1 Dovin's Veto and go up on Elemental Blast, or maybe the Meddling Mage out and go up on Force of Vigor. I felt they were pretty good. But I feel like, yeah, BANT has a lot of room to work in, which is nice. Blue gives you some pretty cool cards, some really powerful cards in Oko and Teferi, and also some, you know, counter magic in the board. But, you know, is it better than black? I probably haven't played BANT enough to understand if it is. That was a great game I watched. Yeah, I apologize for that. That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but this is I think I might run this back maybe on this weekend and then try out a black build with Oko, with Leovold, and maybe some number of like Plague Engineer on the board. But yeah, that is that's gonna be me. A huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. It was very cool to have nearly 50 of you the whole way through. If you like my content, definitely give me a follow on Twitch. I have a goal. I want to try to hit 900 by the end of the month and then 1,000 by the end of March, which would be really cool. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Doogs on Twitch at Twitter, which is right here. Hey, stream team, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Miguel, you are more than welcome. You can find all my Maverick content at the Green Sun Zenith. You can also find all my videos, not just streamed videos, but also my recorded videos with commentary on my YouTube channel, which you can find here. Zonatog, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Not playing Legacy at the moment. I like Humans and Death and Taxes. Oh, that's sweet. Well, I have a bunch of Legacy Humans and Death and Taxes content on my YouTube channel, which you can check out. I want to go back to Humans again as well, especially since the use of Plague Engineer has kind of died down a bit. Humans also seems great against the Breach decks and Miracles. Not that Miracles is seeing too much play right now, but I think against combo, you just have so many good answers in Humans, in Qasali Freebooter, Meddling Mage, Thalia, Sanctum Prelate. It's really nice. Are you from Brazil? Very cool. I've heard Brazil has a pretty good Magic scene, especially for Eternal, the Eternal formats. You play 4-color Snow? Get out. Get out. No, that deck is a lot of fun and a lot of value. Buried Alive with Phoenix. I wish that deck stayed around for a bit. That was a really cool deck. Being able to like Dark Ritual into Buried Alive and then like Lotus Petal into Phoenixes, it was pretty sweet. Pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. Sadly, there's no one really else on that I can send you guys to, but hopefully I will see you guys on the weekend. Thank you again enjoy your weeks ahead, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks.